First class isn't open to guests like you, sir. Please take your seat in the back. The word struck like a slap, sharp and echoing through the plush stillness of the cabin. Darryl James didn't flinch. One hand rested on the overhead bin, the other gripping a worn leather case. His pressed khaki pants and faded polo shirt spoke of quiet utility, not luxury. His face, medium brown, lined, steady, showed no reaction. Yet. Claire Morton, the flight attendant in a crisp red uniform and perfect blonde bun, turned with mechanical grace. Her smirk was almost invisible, but not to him. Nearby, a woman drew her handbag closer. A man chuckled behind mirrored lenses. No one spoke up. Darryl slid into seat 1C. The ticket read first class, but the message was clear: you don't belong. Not here. Not yet. The low chime of the seatbelt sign faded, replaced by the quiet murmur of pre-flight comfort. Claire glided past Darryl's row with a tray of champagne flutes, offering each passenger in 1A and 1B a warm smile and a crisp towel. But when she reached 1C, her posture stiffened. No eye contact. No towel. No drink. Darryl's voice was calm. May I have some water, please? She didn't break stride. We'll begin service after takeoff. Behind her, a younger flight attendant snickered. Darryl said nothing. Just adjusted the leather case beneath his seat. Then, gently, he reached into his breast pocket, fingers curling around a small bronze medallion. Circular. Worn smooth. Familiar. He didn't show it. Only held it, like a memory that burned quietly behind the ribs. It bore an engraving. Service and sacrifice, for country, for family. And beneath it. Angela James, 1993 to 2019. His daughter. Killed stateside. Not in battle, but in bureaucracy. Denied care in a hospital that saw her insurance first and her uniform second. That saw her skin, last. The turbulence was light at first, barely a bump. But inside, something deeper shook. Claire came down the aisle again, smiling at others, skipping him. Not a glance. Not a word. The man across the aisle leaned over with a half-smirk. Maybe she's just doing her job, you know. Darryl didn't reply. Instead, he bent slowly to retrieve the medallion that had slipped between his seat and the armrest. As he sat up, Claire passed again. This time, she muttered just loud enough, props always add drama. The medallion glinted in his palm, then vanished back into his pocket. He clenched his hand. No anger showed on his face. But something inside was no longer still. The plane leveled off above the clouds. Trays lowered. The scent of warmed rolls drifted through the aisle. Claire approached with the meal cart, still polished, still in control, until she reached seat 1C. She paused. Looked down at her tablet. Then up at Darryl. Meal service is reserved for qualified passengers, she said, not quite looking him in the eye. I don't see your name on the manifest. Darryl calmly pulled his boarding pass from the seat pocket. 1C, full fare. First class. She didn't read it. Then perhaps it's a system error. Before either could speak again, turbulence struck, sharper this time. The cabin rocked. Claire lost her balance, her elbow driving into Darryl's shoulder. She didn't apologize. Instead, she snapped, "Why don't you just move back to coach where you belong? We're trying to keep this cabin pleasant." A silence rippled down the aisle. That's when the medallion fell again, this time clinking into the aisle and rolling near Claire's feet. She bent to pick it up. Her smirk returned. "Another prop," she said, examining it. "What is this, a souvenir?" Then her expression shifted, barely, for a moment. She saw the engraving. Angela James. And she tossed it back onto his tray table like it meant nothing. From behind them, a voice rose. "I know that name," a man said. "Angela James. She was a medic. In Kandahar." Claire froze. A white man stood in the aisle, worn cap marked veteran, eyes wide on the medallion. "She saved my life." Gasps. Even Claire stumbled back. "That man," he said, pointing, "is her father." A hush fell over first class. He turned to the others. "And this is how we treat him." Darryl still hadn't spoken. But the silence now belonged to him. The hum of the engine filled the silence that followed. Claire stood paralyzed. Her authority, so carefully maintained, was unraveling in real time. Passengers who once averted their eyes now leaned forward, watching her every movement. The intercom chimed. A calm, professional voice came through. "We've been notified of an in-flight incident. A senior operations manager will meet the aircraft upon landing." Claire's face went pale. Just 2 rows back, a woman in a gray blazer murmured something to the junior attendant beside her. She tapped on a tablet, zooming into the flight manifest. A photo appeared. Darryl James. Her eyes widened. The man in seat 1C wasn't just any passenger. He was someone. Darryl reached into the side pocket of his seat and laid a folder flat on the tray. Its navy blue cover bore the seal of the airline. Claire stared. Her face tightened. Inside the folder, ownership documentation, executive credentials, a memo bearing the title chairman and majority shareholder, Mr. Darryl James. The air in the cabin turned heavy. When the plane touched down, no applause followed. No one dared speak. As passengers stood to disembark, they parted around Darryl like the sea, silent and reverent. Claire remained frozen at the front, eyes wide, hands shaking slightly. He didn't look at her. He didn't need to. His presence had spoken louder than she ever had. 30 minutes later, a boardroom on the top floor of Terminal C buzzed with hushed tension. The flight crew sat in uniform, back straight, expressions uncertain. Claire Morton sat furthest from the door, her hands clenched in her lap, red uniform now feeling like a costume. Then Darryl entered. No entourage. No theatrics. Just a quiet presence in a navy blazer, the airline's executive pin glinting on his lapel. He placed the folder on the table and slid the medallion beside it. "I'm not here to punish," he began, voice steady. "I'm here to correct what we've tolerated for far too long." His eyes found Claire. "You didn't just fail customer service. You failed basic decency." Murmurs stirred. "I'm not firing you," he added. "You'll undergo full cultural re-education, publicly. Not as punishment. As proof that people can grow, if they're willing to." Claire's voice cracked. "Angela, was your daughter?" He nodded. Near the doorway, someone whispered, "Why didn't he say who he was?" Darryl answered without turning. "Because if I had, none of you would have shown me who you really are." Later, as Claire stood at a small press podium and said, "I was wrong," Darryl watched from the back, hands in his pockets. No camera crews. No spotlight. Just quiet change, beginning where it always should. With truth. And dignity.